I think I mentioned this, was this yesterday? Yep, that Amazon is cutting 9,000 jobs. I just talked about it. I did not know that it is disproportionately impacting Black people, Black workers.
Ooh.
All right, Mutali, come tell us, because we read these stories, but we don't drill in to see us in them, right? So,
So the Society of Human Relations Professionals, which is a lobbying group in DC, they did a survey of the layoffs in February, and at that point we were at 100,000 layoff, 100,000 people laid off. We're now towards the end of March at nearly 300,000 people laid off, and what they were finding,
wow.
yes, what they were finding is because of the contraction in the job market, the majority of those roles are going in places like HR, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And because of basically, in my opinion, racism in hiring, when you do get Black people in tech companies, one of the natural places to put them is in those HR, DEI function type roles. And those budgets are not only being slashed, but they are the most deeply impacted. Now, what I thought was really interesting about the Society for the Human Relations Professionals folk was that they couldn't give statistics. And I'm usually someone that comes with hard data. So, in preparation for me coming on to be with you, I got on the phone this afternoon and they haven't been provided them.
All right. I'm going to say something not controversial. I said this during the summer of George Floyd when all these companies trying to quell the Negroes. We don't want no uprising. We see y'all in the streets. Just keep it in the streets. Here's some money. Shut up. So we got paid hush money. And I feel very strongly that diversity, equity, and inclusion is BS. It's a BS title. It is, if you can tell me, and some of you are in this position, that the fundamental workings of a company has been changed because of this officer or this department, please, I want to be wrong. 866-801-8255. Please call me and tell me. I've seen it up close, though. We have somebody that hasn't even reached out to the only Black channel person that's running the thing, not even reached out. How you doing diversity and equity and inclusion? You're not even talking to the Black people that are actually talking to the people every day. How do you do that? So I'm gonna say this with my full chest, and I knew it was a box check, right? Because of the fear behind what was happening. George Floyd got his life snuffed out. We all saw it. We were in our homes. It was a pandemic. The world saw it. People took to the streets, frustration, anger, horror, all of that. But the need to change is not there because really you don't need a diversity and equity and inclusion if you really want to include and be diverse. You don't need to have a whole department to teach you how to do something that should just be part, like for real. Like,
I have many, 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 many thoughts.
okay, come on, Batali. I'm just like, oh, the
You said
check
it all.
box.
You said it all. So a number of things. $50 billion was promised at that George Floyd uprising, and it came from two principal places, JP Morgan Chase and Bank of America. Remember that because we are looking at bank failures right now as I break this down. What they were doing were business loans, home loans, other initiatives that were going to help fancy Black folk that already had it get a further step up. This was not for George Floyd, who was a marginal worker. God rest his soul. He was a bouncer. So being at home had completely stopped his ability to make money. Because if you work in a nightclub and we're in lockdown, how are you making that money? Tech companies, I'm going to go principally for Google because Google is the most elite place that you can work in the Valley in big tech, gave 50 million to HBCUs for programming that was going to build their pipeline, which isn't bad, but it's not good. Now, this is why it's not good. why are we building a pipeline for 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds when they're 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50 in the market that could actually come in right now and be ready? I've just finished telling you, you could do quality assurance, you could do policy, you could do content moderation. You, Karen Hunter, could take your mic off right now and go and work for one of those companies. So that pipeline thing is BS for me. The other part of that 50 billion the other part that you spoke to was DEI departments usually report to HR and legal. They are a way of keeping the Blacks in line.
Yes. I know. Hold on. Matali. Same for HR though. So I always think about, go to HR, but I'm like, who's paying HR? So who's HR working for? Like, you always got to follow the money. The HR is there to protect the company, not you. So it's, to me, yes, we need to have HR. We need to be protected as workers. But I feel like HR, if it's to be effective, needs to be an outside agency, much like the FDIC or something, like the Federal Reserve, where it's not, it's kind of got to be Switzerland. The Switzerland's not really what it's supposed to be. But, it should be something that the company is held accountable to, but it's, that the company also doesn't hire the HR person that's managing the people. It's like, I'm gonna put the fox here, fox. There's all these hens. Here's a nice cushy corner office.
Right. And if DEI was really, really effective, it would report straight up to the CEO and there would be a business case. I speak to tech companies all the time, and I always show them the McKinsey report that came out in 2021 that showed that we are a $300 billion market in the US. And if you want to be part of that $300 billion market, you need to innovate for inclusion. A really good example of that, Google Pixel 6 camera that came out 2 years ago in the Super Bowl. That was the fastest selling Android ever. And it was engineered to recognize Black skin. The reason it was engineered to recognize Black skin in all our shades was because of Issa Rae and the camera work that she had done in Insecure with blue light cameras. They used Lizzo to launch that. And those phones never stopped coming off the shelves. You know who bought them when they pulled the data?
Black people
and white men, because they made everybody look better. They didn't just make Black people look better.
Because that's what happens when
better camera.
Yes, and I actually have one. 866-801-8255. Shout out to Google, for that. Shout out for a lot of things. But Matali is here. Matali and Conde.